Welcome to Carter's Retro Reviews. What do I have here? NBA Jam Tournament Edition. That's what TE stands for. Check it out. Can you see? Can you see? How about now? Is it any better? What about now? What about now? What about now? What about... Now, I've got this version on the Saturn. It goes without saying. But I've also got the On Fire Edition, which I've got through Xbox Live Arcade. Now, I'm sure you can get it through the PlayStation Network, but here's a little fun fact that a lot of people don't know, and that is there was another edition which didn't get to see the light of day for NBA Jam, and that was NBA Jam My Dick is on Fire Edition. What ends up happening is they get 3 baskets in a row, and if they get that, then they get chlamydia, and then they got to get another 3 baskets in a row, and then the coach prescribes them the pills and or ointments to make it stop burning when they pee. This game is hugely nostalgic for me as I played it to death on the Super Nintendo. Considering it was around this time that both playing basketball and collecting basketball cards was a huge fad, playing this game was just a natural extension to all of that. It started its legacy in the arcades, as a lot of Saturn titles did, in 1993, then the Game Boy, Mega Drive, Game Gear, and Super Nintendo got their turn in 1994, then the Saturn and PlayStation had their time to shine in 1995. It was developed by Midway and Iguana Entertainment and published by Acclaim. If we put this game in context, back in 1995, okay, sure, it was still a great game that had been largely improved upon due to improvements in technology. But it doesn't excuse the fact that this game had been on both the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive / Genesis, as well as the 32X beforehand. So by the time this game came out with said improvements, people were finding this title a little long in the tooth. If I already didn't have it on Super Nintendo and owned a Saturn back in the day, I would have loved to have owned this too. So now that we have all the pleasantries out of the way, let's get down to business because there's quite a bit to talk about. The menu presentation kindly reminds us that, hey, are you ready for a semen-producing, excitement-filled experience? Because we're about to give that to you in spades. It's bright, interesting, and it's got one little nuance to it. When you press a button to select an item on the menu, it didn't actually take you to the option you selected. It took you to this screen instead. You actually have to press start. Remember back in the 90s when a game used to say press start and actually mean it? And not just press any button. This game really reminds you. Purple backgrounds, bold font, and a serious amount of effort went into it. Or at least it looks like it. Graphics are not only pretty good, but when compared to the arcade, it's quite clear that short of one or two things like the camera's going off when you dunk, and it's slightly not as sharp, it's very close to the arcade version. Animation is damn good, colours are great, nice detailing in both the courts and the backgrounds. I owned and have played extensively the On Fire edition on my Xbox 360, and that felt close to my memory of the game rather than this version. But after playing this for any longer than 5 minutes, it kindly reminds us that this is pretty damn good too. Not just for its day, but even now, it still holds up. Okay, yes, they made graphical improvements naturally enough on the Xbox 360 version, but that takes absolutely nothing away from the graphics seen in this game. I had both my PC and my TV speakers turned up really loud when I started this game, and I'm sure not just my neighbours, but the people in the next suburb over heard me rocking to the intro music. Then once we're in the game, it really gave me an audio assault that was not offensive, but just energetic and a perfect match to the gameplay. The sound effects are amazing and are absolutely integral to the game. Now when I say that, I'm absolutely not even close to shitting you. With Tournament Edition, I'm being told that the following are improvements. There's at least 3 players from every team, and includes 25% of the NBA at the time of the release of the game. Players' attributes are now there. You can sub and fix your partnering. Allows players to choose the same team. Improved gameplay with faster movement and depth. More dunks and secret power-ups. Hot spots for shooting and dunking. Tag mode lets you fully control the teammate who has the ball. Juice mode when you can tune the speed. And the superstar matches when you beat all 27 teams. Apart from reading the intro screen on the changes, how does it really feel? Quite good, to be honest. The game is as reactive as an active parent is to discipline. The key is knowing your spot on the floor. The game's difficulty is a hard one to explain because it felt like any time during a match when I was winning a little too much, every now and again I would just mysteriously miss a shot. Or the computer team would somehow turn into the dream team and block me from halfway down the court, then ninja the ball out of my hands where they would proceed to throw it to the conveniently placed team member at the other end of the court for an easy slam, or make a three-pointer from the other end of the court. And then sometimes the computer wouldn't even be able to do the simplest defense and allow me through like I just ordered my movie ticket online and cut right to the basket. They'd have someone at the bottom of the basket to greet me, rip my ticket stub, and show me the way to the hoop 10 feet above. The impressive dunks, three-pointers, and being on fire are extremely satisfying when pulled off. You have 27 teams and they all feel pretty different from each other, which is another impressive aspect of the game. The controls are rock solid. There is just so much content with this game, it'd be hard to get mad at paying full price for this. Whether this is the best home version of the game or not is arguable, but you have 2 initial modes, but those matches go for 30 minutes each at 27 matches. Well, actually 28 with the Dream Team as well, on top of a Juice mode. And it's a 2-player. Would I recommend this game? Well, I think it's fair to say that I would. Tons of content, it's fun the entire time, and a professional presentation that wraps up the whole game nicely into a neat package.
Wide open!